Bitcoin, hot and steamy. Let's measure it real quick from its low to its high. 57.28% here on Femex, folks. That's quite a pump. Quite a pump. I've been legging into a short position. Yesterday's Jerome Powell's press conference was kind of startling. He pumped the markets. I didn't see that coming. And Bitcoin tried to break up. It did. It went to 24,270. I want to bring your attention to this doji right here, folks. I do believe this could be an evening star doji. It's a bearish reversal of a bull pump. Let's define it. Evening doji star consists of long bullish candle. This guy here, long bullish candle, followed by a doji that gaps up. Check that off the list. See the gap. See the red line I have drawn in there at 23,719. It gapped up to about 23,830. There's a gap there. See that guy? Then a third bearish candle that gaps down and closes well within the body of the first candle, which would look something like this guy. This candle here closes at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The new candle will open, so what we'll be looking for is the gap down. See this here? See that's working? Now, it doesn't have to gap down. If it doesn't gap down on this next one, then it really doesn't matter. Let's rip through some of these images real quick just to get you familiar with what's going on here. Real quick about that gap. I want to get this out of the way, but I do want to offer one other direction it could go. With this gap, it could be a runaway gap where the price just goes up. I don't think that's happening here. I think this has been a failed breakout. Failed breakout occurs when the price gaps above resistance or below support. In this case, above resistance for the most part. It's kind of right on resistance in my opinion. But anyways, definitely a gap there. But can't sustain the price and moves back into the prior trading range, which I think is what has happened. This a week ago, this was up at where it's at now. So technically, I think that's a failed breakout, and that this gap is probably going to be what I'm making this video about. Our friend, the Evening Star. Here's a abandoned baby top doji. This one here. See, they're basically all the same thing. They're just a little different. Here's a shooting star, which is similar to a gravestone doji, which is similar to the evening doji star, which I think right here. See this one? I think that's what we're about to print. See how this is working? They're all similar. And down here on the bottom, you see bullish reversal patterns, basically like a morning doji star down here. It's the opposite of evening doji star, and so none of these are 100% positive. And it hasn't confirmed yet. I mean, this candle hasn't even opened yet. But it's where it happens, right? Where is it happening, right? I've already been legging into a short position since 2 days ago. I'm in from 23,153 to 23,400 something. I'll show you my trade. Let's just show you my trade here right now. I like showing my trades. I think all traders on YouTube should have to show their trades. So I'm underwater. Here's my my second one I've entered. I was talking about my last video. I was talking about maybe hedging. If this was going to pump real hard, if there was some magical pump coming to 40,000, right? I was ready to start hedging. I watched this pumped up after the Jerome Powell conference, and he was saying the economy is disinflationary for the most part. He used the disinflationary word. So people have taken that as a signal to pump all the markets. And disinflationary doesn't mean anything. It just means that the inflation isn't going up as much as it was, right? Inflation is still going up. It's just not going up as much, right? So it's kind of bizarre, right? It's kind of bizarre. And this whole financial system is backed up by just a Ponzi scheme. It's literally a Ponzi scheme. got this new site here, the U.S. debt clock. Over here on the left, see this? Where my cursor's at? Top left corner. U.S. national debt, 31,529,000,000,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Count of 8. It just went up $100,000. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another 100,000. Every quick count to 8 was about 5 seconds. But every 5 or 6 seconds, it goes up $100,000. Right. So that's slowed a little. I mean, that's not what he's actually talking about, but it's disinflationary numbers. So this means everyone pour all their money into the stock market. I don't know. It seems like the definition of insanity to me. It doesn't make any sense why he would. He intentionally pumped the markets, right? He knows what he's doing, and I could see it in his face. And he did it for a reason. I'm not sure why, but he did it, and had many questions, many opportunities to not do it, and he went ahead and kept doing it. So who knows exactly why? But anyways, Bitcoin was already on this magnificent pump, right? So a couple of days prior, Bitcoin had already topped or peaked at 23,975. Bitcoin tried. It really tried hard to break up. I was watching it, right, because I'm already in a short position, and I definitely was watching it. And Bitcoin was really trying to break up, but there's intense selling pressure up here. It got up to 24,270. So it only went up $295. Now it could still go up higher. This is not a guarantee. 72% of the time, this evening doji star pattern I'm showing you will confirm, and it'll break back down. It'll be reversal down to the downside 72% of the time. But what I've seen so far in my few years of experience here looking at this stuff is where is it occurring? How am I feeling before, right? So that's a couple of days before any of this even showed up. Before the Jerome Powell conference is where I think this evening doji star is going to. I think that conference is going to cause. It looks like it's causing this doji star to form. We will see. Watch it when it closes. Watch when the new one's open. When this closes, the new one opens at 6 p.m. Central Time tonight. Morning doji star and evening doji star. Here's a morning doji star. Switches to bolus. On the right here is the evening doji star, which I do believe is what we're dealing with now. See that? You want the body to be skinny? It can be red or green. Most important thing is the next candle coming, right? You want to see that come down and close well within the body of this one, right? You want to see it come down to, down in this area at least. Evening doji star. It's not even printed yet. I want to give you something to watch tonight when it closes. See that? That one actually doesn't have a gap, right? It's not a perfect science. To me, what's important is how I'm feeling going into it before I see it, right? And Bitcoin is its most overbought it's been in 2 years. Bitcoin hasn't been this overbought for 2 years. Here's where the textbooks or the University of Google would tell you to enter your short position. See the line here? That's actually kind of where I'm in at. I just did it too soon, right? My long the top like a noob alarm went off inside of me. I like keeping that alarm in my chest right there, right? I like keeping that guy alive in there, right? That alarm, because now I know that's where to turn around and short or to sell, right? When the FOMO brews up, you got to flip flop that thinking, right? You want the euphoria, right? I think that's where we're at. That's when you want to sell or short. I got in a little too early. I think I had it planned about right if the Jerome Powell wouldn't have done that. And but still, it didn't. It's as hard as Bitcoin tried to pump up higher and higher, it kind of failed to do it. And then that's going to be confirmed with the close of this candle. It hasn't closed yet, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. But here's where you would textbooks. Here's where you would be taught to sell or to short, right? When you see that third candle come down and confirm, there's no certain specific thing where this has to close, right? This example here closes way down below it. It does. it doesn't. I didn't mean to say it had to close inside of the body. You want it to come down substantially, right? Substantially in to that candle here they have labeled 1, right? You want the number 3 candle to close a little bit, at least down into the candle, right? You want that much of a drop. That's what they call confirmation. So on this graph, they actually have people, looks like they've got a sell indicator actually before this candle even closes. See that? They've actually got it at the bottom of that green candle. When this red number 3 candle passed the bottom open of the 1 candle, looks like that's where they're actually doing it before this one even closes. That's interesting. A gazillion different ways you could do it, right? So like I'm in a swing trade, right? And lots of stuff on YouTube. You might, they might still be trying to take, little longs but get, take profit and get out real quick. So you got to be careful who you listen to and when, and you got to know the difference between what people are talking about, right? My swing position, I might keep this open for a month. I'll be happy to get out of it, right? After that Jerome Powell press conference, I'll be happy to get out of this short position with a profit. So I might be a little more anxious to get out of it than normal, or those feelings may fade. As you can see, this one here, there's really no gap. See, it's different, right? So doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, right? It's not anal retentive stuff, right? Here, see the gap. You do want to see that gap for this pattern. And then this one has no gap here. So the definition I read you before, this is not going by that definition. So no gap on the second one there. Gap. And then this one's showing an entry at the bottom. See this one's showing a different cell. And they've got labeled entry. They've actually got it when this closes, right? They consider candle 3 here to be the confirmation candle. Does it close down well inside the body of candle 1? Boom, right? And then they got to sit here and watch. See the next candle 4, they got pumped all the way back up, right? So it'll give you heart palpitations if you don't have a little experience, right? Like watching that Jerome Powell conference the other day, right? That you don't want to go into a short position and then see that happen, right? So, but my noob FOMO, buy the top, right? That guy in there, that's probably in all of us psychologically. Oh, everything's wonderful. Buy, right? That's what I use now as my sell indicator, and it's usually right. So, and then here's candle 4, here's candle 5, it's still, and then candle 6 and 7 is where it really starts dumping, boom, right? And then it comes back up, and here's like 2 weeks into it over here, right? Here's like week 2 or so, and then boom, right? So I'm not expecting a huge drawback immediately. Now it could, because the problem with this is there's so much leverage in here, right? This isn't hodlers. People who are buying down here to buy and hold, they're hodling, right? This giant column of green is predominantly leverage traders. I would guess. It's just there's massive amounts of leverage in here, and they're all going to be taking profit at some point in the not too distant future, right? You know what I'm saying? Plus, there's other professional whales, I'm sure, they're seeing this top out, and they're going to start shorting and selling, right? So now this could run up to 25, 26,000. I don't think it will. It could just go sideways for a long time. This could go kind of just sideways for a couple of weeks. This psychology chart from Crypto Oil from a long time ago I've been showing you. This is just about perfect what Bitcoin's been doing since late 2020, mid-summer 2020 over here. It's just about perfect. I think we're right here, right? And I've been talking about probably kind of a sideways, kind of looks like Devil's Tower out in Wyoming. Looks like kind of like a tree stump right here. See that? I think we're just entering this, and there's in this example here, there are 2 big drawbacks. Boom, see that? So they're not huge, and maybe this chart eventually breaks and Bitcoin does kind of go off, like this, and we are kind of in a stepping stone into a thawing bear market. I originally said the next bull cycle will start in early 2024, and I thought I was being aggressive and too soon. This is starting in January of 2023. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this kind of do something like this and just kind of go sideways. But like I'm looking for maybe the pullback to come to the 22,300 area, or maybe just kind of go sideways. Maybe boom, maybe it comes down to 20,300, 20,400, 21,400. This area, no one knows for sure. There's a lot. If you watch different channels, people have different areas and stuff, but they're all pretty much going to be in confluence one way or the other. Some people might have it down here at like 20 or 19. The old top from the 2017 peak is like right in this area here. So that would be a spot where maybe it could come down and look for the bounce, right? But it's kind of this range I'm expecting. I've been expecting this for a while. At some point, it could just boom, right? That's definitely not out of the cards. I went too low there. I do think 15,000 is probably going to be the bottom. Probably is going to be the bottom. We could go back down there very easily again at some point. You know, maybe it is here, right? And this was just a blip, right? This whole thing was just a blip. But I think kind of sideways. As stupid as it sounds, right? You could have given this chart here to a 5-year-old child, right? And just had them follow it since the summer of 2020, and they would have called the whole cycle perfectly. If you think about how stupid this chart really is, all the technical analysis you've watched and all the technical analysis and this and that and all the on-chain metrics and all this stuff, and these people doing this and these people selling that and saying this and these people committing crimes and all this and that, right? You could have just given someone that doesn't know anything about this chart in the summer of 2020 and they would have just nailed it down. It'd just been perfect. So why would I want to doubt it now? It is calling for a prolonged sideways consolidation range, and with a couple dumps in it and a couple pumps, of course. So there it is. I don't know about this panic stage over here on the right. I don't know. I think that's probably still coming, which would probably coincide with the over-leveraged, overbought situation we're in now, right? It kind of ranges here for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a pretty quick pullback pretty soon. Not a huge one, but it would coincide with that, right? This over-leveraged, overbought situation that kind of ranges here for a while, and then kapowie. So I don't know how far down the kapowie goes, or if there is another big kapowie. So don't underestimate the HUD squad, the hype, unknowing, and danger squad, the opposite of the FUD squad. Don't underestimate their power to hype people into this and get wrecked. And don't underestimate their power now with the next Bitcoin halving cycle coming up. This could just kind of do like this, right? Maybe there is no huge crash back down to the lows, and it just kind of does do one of these, right? Maybe. And kind of this, and then into the next halving cycle, right? That could be possible, but just don't underestimate how hard this can dump, immediately. Just don't underestimate that. But also don't underestimate the power of it actually being able to sustain a sideways, eventually up through the 2023 motion, right? That could be possible. For now, I think sideways at best. I don't think it's going any higher than where it is now. Maybe it tests a couple times to try to break up to 25,000, but there's like a steel ceiling, right? There's hundreds of different things you could, if you watch videos probably out there, there's probably hundreds of different ways people are saying how strong this resistance is below 25,000, below 26,000, 23,800, 24,000. That, it's like a steel ceiling for now. I don't think it's going up there anytime soon. So with all that being said, I do believe my short position is going to be correct. It's a swing trade, and I was not expecting to go underwater like that and have to sit here and watch Bitcoin try to break through that steel ceiling. I didn't think that was going to happen. It's a lot more powerful than I thought it would be. And, I'm not the amazing Kreskin, right? I'm not the amazing Kreskin, folks. So I'm going to show you my other trade here and talk about FEMEX. Now, this probably isn't legal for people in the United States So I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but I just want to show you FTX. FTX is paying me. Now, they sent me a message saying they're going to end this little program they got. There's a positive fee for being the short seller, for being the maker of an order in this market and holding your short. They're paying me. So they've paid me over $9 up here. See up here where I'm highlighting? They're paying me two different ways. This is different than it was last time I did this. They've paid me over $9 up here. See that? And they're also paying me down here in my realized profit, which is $2.11. See that down there? I thought they said they were going to end that program, so that's interesting. I've had these orders open for a combined 24 hours, 48 hours or so. I wasn't really paying attention when I was legging in. I've been fully in for about 12 hours. I put my last dry powder in at 23,799, and when my FOMO buy the top warning was going off, right? That's when I shorted my last dry powder. So I think that's probably good. I got in at a good high price at the end, so let's see, 9, 10, 11, over $11 they've paid me in about a day on this account. My other account, which I have much better entry price, and you go retrospect. I wish I'd have done this. I should have done it. They've paid me over $7 on this one. See this? Look, they paid me over $7 up here. Somehow they put it into my available money to use right now. And down here, they've paid me 76 cents. Right. So this is a positive funding fee, right? As long as I'm the maker of the order, which means limit order. I place limit orders. And that means someone else is the taker. They come along. Someone bought my shorts, right? Essentially. But FTX is paying me to keep this money in the market, paying me to keep this short open. So that's kind of like a bonus, right? So what did I say? Over 11 here on the other and over 7 here. That's actually 8. $19 they've paid me. That's actually, it's more than that. I'm plus $19. There was originally the fees they charged me to open the order was a few dollars. So I'm up probably $25 in 24 hours. I'm making about $1 an hour. So I've got about $4,600 in this at 3x leverage, and they're paying me about $1. It's going to be about $1 an hour. They're paying me, right? So if I keep this open for a few weeks and watch this go down, I'll be looking really, really good, and I'm getting paid $1 an hour to do it, which I didn't realize was going to happen. I thought they ended that, but this video is getting long, and I want to let you get going so you can go watch your next video. Watch lots of videos on YouTube. Don't confuse yourself. And whenever you feel, this would be my advice if I gave advice, whenever you see these huge pumps and you feel like you're missing out and you see them go way, way up, that's when you need, don't buy the tops of these, right? That would be my advice. Well, you can buy the top if you're just hodling. If you want to buy like I'm not talking like dollar cost averaging is always a good idea. It's probably still a good idea now, just in case, this is kind of just going to go sideways and kind of uppy downy for a while and then eventually up. You don't want to miss the next halving cycle. It's going to be huge. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be super, 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 super just powerful stuff going up, right? So you don't want to miss that. So anytime now until then is a good time to just dollar cost average, like buy $5 a day or whatever. I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking about if you're trying to trade, don't buy the tops of these, right? Whenever you see these massive pumps, just get real, real leery, right? And if that thing in your chest is saying everything's wonderful, this is incredible, it's amazing, right? That's euphoria. That's when you want to sell, usually, right? If you're trading. So there's two different worlds. Hodling and dollar cost averaging is a wonderful thing to do. From now to the next, to summer 2024, when when we're really talking, right? When we're after the next halving, when we're really juiced up, right? And it's probably, you know, everybody on the planet's just freaking out about how awesome it's going to be, right? Because that's probably how powerful the next pump's going to be. But we're not there yet, so anyways, I'll let you get going. Hey, thanks for watching.